Hello everyone, it is I, Republic Studs, and today I am going to be bringing you the top 10 battle packs that LEGO needs to make. Now, I did this video 2 years back when I was first starting off my channel, and back then it was like 99% Clone Trooper stuff. I was like, you know, LEGO just needs to make every version of Clone Trooper in a battle pack. Those were my top 10 picks, and of course everyone thought it was a good idea because everyone loves Clone Troopers. But you know, as I've gone on, I've realized it's probably better to do stuff that isn't Clone Trooper because LEGO doesn't do Clone Trooper stuff a majority of the time when it comes to Battle Pack, although they make up a significant portion of them. So today I've come up with 10 separate ideas based on new shows, old shows, movies, everything in that regard, and we're going to get into that right now. So I'm going to ask you all to subscribe, hit the bell, and let's get into these 10 set ideas in no particular order. Now, my first idea is a Scarif Battle Pack. Now, I have always wanted this one. As soon as Rogue One came out, I was like, LEGO needs to do something like this. This would be the perfect army builder, one of the best Imperial ones, almost comparable to the other Rogue One one we got, which I'd argue is one of, again, the best Imperial battle packs ever. But I would include 2 Shore Troopers in this particular one, 1 Death Trooper, since they were pretty prominent on that planet, as well as 1 Stormtrooper. So basically, half of that Imperial battle pack we got back in 2017, and then we throw in the 2 Shore Troopers. Now, I've seen some great custom mocks for this, and I think like you could get like one of those weird Scarif antennas. There were all those different barricades on the ground level on Scarif, and I think it's so easy for them to nail something home with Scarif. I would absolutely love to see a Scarif set of some sort. I've seen just some fantastic models, and I want to hear what you guys think about that. Next up, we would have another battle pack set, and this is again with the whole new $20 battle pack thing. It's kind of hard to come up with like build ideas, so I'm just throwing out more minifigures because that's all anyone cares about. But this would be Crosshair's Elite Clone Troopers pack, or Elite Troopers pack. Because they are technically not Clone Troopers, but they still don the Clone Trooper armor. So here's the deal with these guys. Now, I would have 3 of the plain Shadow Clone Troopers that Crosshair has following him around. Now, these are the dark gray characters with the green visors. Now, seeing that LEGO did Crosshair in black, either they would probably end up making these guys black, which I'd hope they would, and I'd hope they kind of fix that, and they're a little more prominently gray, or they'd fix Crosshair. Either or, which is fine. But yeah, so you get 3 of those guys, obviously, probably with different face prints even. And then you could also get one of the Shadow Flame Troopers. I think you can make one of them a Flame Trooper. Just give them a flame or something really simple. I think that's a fun build. Maybe you could even make it like a stud shooter, and they could shoot out flames. I'm not really opposed to that, but they're not really doing stud shooters in these new things. And I think also a total possibility is they could throw in that Shock Trooper that showed up in the Bad Batch. He was always pretty much trailing wherever Rampart was, and Crosshair and Rampart's troopers were kind of interconnected. So I think we could see maybe 1 Shock Trooper in here, because I know they don't do 4 of the same figure in a particular set, even in sets such as like the 501st Battle Pack. They didn't even do 4 solid 501st Troopers. And the build's easy. I'd just say something like the Crosshair Speeder we saw in the Bad Batch shuttle. Honestly, if they even reused that, if they made something like this, I wouldn't be opposed to that one bit. I think it's a nice build. With that said, let's move into the next one. Next up is one of my personal favorites, and this would be an Imperial Remnant Battle Pack. Now, this is based off The Mandalorian, mainly that ending scene on Navarro in Season 1. There were so many awesome Imperial variations, and I wanted to discuss them. Now, first off, I would have an Imperial Flame Trooper. Those are those guys with the red markings that went to try and burn up Mando, and Grogu stopped him. I would also have a Scout Trooper. I think that would be a great way to include a Scout Trooper. They were pretty prominent. Again, we had the Scout Troopers abduct Baby Yoda. You could give him a speeder build, and we'll get into builds more in a second. And then I would also include in that a Stormtrooper, which is kind of obvious, and again, another Death Trooper, because those were all the prominent types of characters or designs on that battlefield on Navarro at the end of The Mandalorian Season 1. These are basically Moff Gideon's troopers. Now, if they were to do builds, I think probably the best idea for a build would be like the Imperial Transport. We actually saw one on a Stormtrooper transport back in 2014 for Star Wars Rebels, or 2015 rather. But I wouldn't mind if they did something like that, maybe even a little different, because obviously they used the same one that actually pulled into that battle. It's the same exact design for what they were trying to capture. Or again, they could do a speeder bike and, you know, some like Navarro wall or, you know, merchant booth. I think I'd be down for either of those types of things. Next up is actually a fun one I'd really kind of like to see just for fun, but like I kind of hope they don't do, but I still think I wouldn't mind it. It would be funny. But this is a Wookiee battle pack. You could get like a Kashyyyk Wookiee battle pack. This would be great. Now, I have variations of Wookiees. It's not all just like Chewbacca colored Wookiees. So you get 1 dark brown one that would look like Chewbacca. We've gotten Wookiees like that in the past. You get 2 of the light brown ones, like the old reddish brown Chewbacca. and you know, we've gotten those again in Rebels. And then I think for the first time we could see one light gray Wookiee. I would absolutely love to see a light gray Wookiee. I think that would be great. We've seen them in Star Wars before. We know they exist, and I think it would be a fun little inclusion. They're obviously older Wookiees, so that's something to consider. But I just think that would be a super fun way to introduce a unique type character, and I think a fantastic build. And this one I was really excited about, and this would probably be one of the best battle pack builds if they do it, especially with that $20 price mark now. They could do that Wookiee flyer from the original movie where the Wookiees fly in with the guns, and that was a smaller portion of, I believe, another set, the Wookiee Catamaran. So I would absolutely love to see that as a microfighter build. I think it would be the perfect quintessential microfighter build, and they could really hit it home with it. Next up, what I wanted to do is I want to do these two combo type sets. Now, usually how LEGO used to release their battle packs is they'd have two coinciding ones. So say they'd have a Hoth Rebel and a Hoth Imperial battle pack, and they'd have clone bad guys and clone good guys, like all that sort of stuff. So I want to kind of bring that back, and this is for the Clone Wars Season 7. Now with this, I would include first the Clone Trooper pack, and I guess we could call this Ahsoka's Clone Troopers or something like that. Now this would include two 330-second troopers. Obviously, the ones we saw in the AAT would be fantastic. A 501st Trooper, because they were still pretty prominent on that battlefield, and I think they would be great. And one plain Phase 1 Trooper, they were prominent towards the end of that particular arc in the Clone Wars, and we did see them a decent amount, so I think they would work well. And you could also possibly, I guess, see a Shock Trooper thrown in there. However, I personally don't think that would work too well for this, if I'm being 100% honest. I think the builds could actually be something that replicates an ATTE. Now, with Battle Pack builds, you'll see a lot of different things. Like, you'll see, like, a certain walker that's kind of supposed to loosely resemble an ATRT, or you'll see a, like, gunship type ship that is supposed to obviously resemble some sort of Republic gunship. And you'll even see like an AV7 type build. We've gotten that in the Elite Clone Troopers pack, where that's trying to represent an AV7. But we haven't gotten anything that tries to resemble an ATTE, so I think if they could hit that home, that would be a fantastic build. I'd be 189% down for. Next up would be a combating one, but this one would be a little different. This would be a Mandalorian Loyalist versus Super Commando. So it's not all the Mandalorian Super Commandos. I wanted to throw in some more Loyalist characters, so they could do one or two. I wouldn't be opposed to them just doing one and having 3 regular Mandalorians. I think that would be kind of fine, because you're already getting all the clone good guys. And hey, maybe you could throw in a Mando Loyalist in the clone pack too. I just wanted to stay consistent, making it a full Clone Troopers minifigure pack. But yeah, anyway, you would have 2 of those Darth Maul Death Watch commandos, much like Saxon. Maybe you could even reuse one of his molds for his head. And you could also bring back like one of the old designs for the old versions of those that came out in 2013. And you could also get 2 Bo-Katan Mandos, like not Bo-Katan specifically, but like one for Loyalists that like we saw in the Mandalorian Starfighter set. Just stuff like that would be fine, and I'd be 100% down for it. Now next up is another fun one. This is an Endor Attack Force set. Now this would be just a fantastic set I would love to see. Now first off, this would be like 2 Endor Rebel Troopers. I loved the recent design we got, or more recent design we got in 2016, which was almost 5 years ago as of recording this. But that was a great design. We haven't seen them since. I would love to see this variant of Trooper return. It is super cool. Maybe you could even like make it the Rex Rebel or whatever. That would be something cool. And then I would also throw in 2 Ewoks. Now, I was kind of wanting to make this a fully Rebel-centric set, but I also really just kind of wanted to throw in Ewoks in a battle pack. They just have to make them as generic as possible, because you don't want to get ones that you could like stack up and you get a lot of, but they aren't like army buildable. I want them to be army buildable. I want them to be somewhat interchangeable if they could somehow manage that. And yeah, I would love to see 2 different Ewoks in the set. And honestly, it would be kind of fun if like you could buy the set and it came with different molds. Like you'll get mystery Ewok in each set, and they could like have 5 variants out there. And just when you buy them, it's like, oh, I got this one, that's cool, and you kind of want to try and collect them. Next up is another pretty fun one. This is the Gungan Battle Pack. Now, this one is pretty simple. It would be obviously based off of the final scene from The Phantom Menace where the Gungans are getting attacked by the battle droid army. Now, this would come with 3 warrior Gungan soldiers. You could diversify them all up. Some could be bluer, some could have purple marks like Captain Tarpals, some could look like Jar Jar. It doesn't really matter. And then I'd say you could have one like full-on like purple Gungan. I think that would just be kind of great, because they do exist. They're out there. I believe they are anyway. And I think that would be good. You bring back the Jar Jar mold, maybe even do a different type of Gungan mold, maybe make a new one. They've been using the same one pretty much since the early 2009s. But yeah, I think the great build for this would be a blue ball launcher. I think that would be a fantastic build. I haven't been talking about builds too much, just because, again, it's not the most interesting thing to talk about with battle packs, but hey, it's an option to throw out there. Now, next up, a great set we could have is a plain Phase 2 battle pack. This is the most obvious idea anyone could have ever thought of. It's so easy. It's so simple. Like everyone, it's kind of a no-brainer type thing. You could basically, and my like dream for this type of a set would be for like the 20th or 10th or 15th anniversary, an anniversary of the original Clone Walker battle pack, which was technically this year, so maybe we'd see this later down the line. But I'd love basically a complete recreation of that, but you swap them out with Phase 2 helmets, and you use pretty much the same design in terms of build. Maybe you could update it to have like stud shooters, kind of like what they did for the 20th anniversary set, the Stormtrooper one. I am blanking on the name, but I believe it's like the Stormtrooper transport of some sort. They could just basically recreate that, but with Phase 2 armor, it would be beautiful. You could have one of them be a heavy gunner like the one we got in the Aayla Secura Republic fighter tank. I think that would be fantastic. And I would also love to see a Geonosis droid battle pack. Now this one's difficult. Droid battle packs, generally speaking, throughout history have been difficult types of sets because you don't know exactly where the value of the line is drawn with battle droids. Like, do 2 battle droids equal 1 minifigure? How does that exactly work? So I'm going with the assumption that they count as like 3/4 of a minifigure. I know even Lego doesn't count them fully as a minifigure, so I'm just gonna say they're like 3/4 of a minifigure, if that makes any sense. But that's why I did include 3 Geonosis battle droids in this set. And then on top of that, you would also get 1 B2 battle droid. Those guys are really cool. We have not gotten them in a very long time. And then I think also you could get a Geonosian minifigure, which I think would be fantastic to see in Lego. I think, you know, seeing a Geonosian cannon as a build would maybe work. One of those, like, stun blaster cannons. I think that would be fantastic. And who knows, maybe even a droidka. This could be a one to combat, say, like the new Clone Trooper Command Station. I think this one actually has some shot at being made in the near future, or something along the lines of it anyway. And I just want to get this one out of the way. I would love to see one like a Captain Hauser battle pack, so I'll throw it out there. I've seen stuff like with Captain Hauser, it comes with his troopers from Ryloth, and I've seen it like comes with like Shadow Troopers and all that sort of stuff. So it's a totally cool idea. I really like it, but I don't see Lego doing that anytime soon. But hey, I'll still throw it out there. I still think it's a really relevant idea, and I think it's more of just a proposition for Lego to make a Captain Hauser minifigure, which I think we would all absolutely adore, and I hope he shows up in the next season of The Bad Batch, so that way we could hopefully see him in a Lego set. And then finally, I know some of you guys are also out there going to be saying, Studs, where's the Wolfpack Trooper battle pack? Studs, where's the 442nd Clone Trooper battle pack? Studs, where's this? The reason I didn't do this, and again, I explained it at the beginning, the reason I didn't do all of these different special types of Clone Trooper battle packs, however they would be cool, is because it would just get so boring and repetitive, being the same exact thing. The builds wouldn't vary very much. It would be like the same 5 types of Republic builds. You'd get like a speeder or stuff along those lines. It just wouldn't be fun. But yes, I fully acknowledge those are all great ideas, and I'd really like to see them be made. And finally, my last idea, it's just a fun one, honestly, and this would be a Clone Troopers Captains type one. So if you guys remember, we got all those different colored Phase 1 Clone Troopers. We got the green version, we got the blue version, we got, of course, the yellow Clone Pilot version, and then we got like a red version and stuff. So I think that would be just a perfect battle pack. You just do like a little Geonosis setup. I know we technically already got one coming in that new micro pack thing. You're getting one of them, but I would love to see just get like the Skittle Troopers, if that's any better way to call them. It's a totally random idea. I know nobody's ever come up with it before, but I think it would just kind of be fun to get those all in one set. You get your kind of clone commanding force, and you can make them into different legions or whatever. I don't know. But yeah, those are my ideas for a Lego Star Wars battle packs. If you guys have any cool ideas, tell me in the comments down below. What would be your top 4 minifigures? What 4 minifigures would you put in the set? And what would the build be? I'd be happy to hear it. And with that said, I will see you guys all in the next one. Remember to subscribe, peace out, and stay awesome.